Well, tonight we are learning new information about what may have led to the massive explosion and fire at the refinery in Superior this spring. Lou Raguse is here now with an update on the federal investigation. Lou?
Julie, the U.S. Chemical Safety and Hazard Investigation Board released what it calls a factual update on the Husky Energy refinery fire. And in it, federal investigators point out what they say was a worn valve which may have caused the explosion. In their preliminary report, they say the valve was located in a critical portion of the refinery where oil is transformed into gasoline. They released this animation to show how air could have inadvertently allowed a flammable mixture to form.
That flammable mixture then traveled away to a different part of the unit, found an ignition source, and you have the explosion. Investigators say the explosion caused a piece of debris to fly 200 feet, puncturing an asphalt tank, spilling 15,000 barrels of asphalt. They say that valve should have undergone routine testing, and the inspection and maintenance is something they're looking into. The Chemical Safety Board says it hopes its final report will be complete within 2 years of the explosion date. In the update, they also said that 36 people sought medical attention following the explosion. As for when the refinery will be up and running again, Canada-based Husky Energy recently said they don't expect it to restart until 2020. Julie.